Yeah, I am a bit late today. Even though I set up the stream last night, set it for 3, I took a nap. I woke up from the nap about an hour ago, and I thought to myself in that just waking up kind of haze, oh, it starts at 3:30. I have time to do other stuff. And I was going to be late for even 3:30. I didn't get over here to the computer until 3:35 Central. But I did get to see the end of stage 1. Brent Cruz looks looks really good right now. I'm guessing we had a bunch of guys flip the stage. Just due to the fact that Connor and SVG are both back here. I hope that's what happened. You guys way off the pace. So what did I miss? Yeah, we did have some guys flip the stage. Sammy Smith might be a lap down now. Did he get his... Okay. Carson Quaffle in the 91. Not in a Junior Motorsports car this weekend. Justin in, Sam Marin. Huh. It's interesting that more people didn't flip the stage. All right, Brent Cruz getting off pit road first. Not too bad. Man, Justin Allgaier down 3 every single week. Every single week, they disappoint him. Man, I made this fancy thumbnail and then didn't even go live on time. That is a shame. That is a shame. Let me go ahead and check in for the fan rewards program. Get the Twitter pulled up. So Brent Cruz getting by Sam Mayer early in the race. Brent Cruz taking the stage. So not much really in stage 1. This could be a repeat of the truck race where not much happens early on and then it just goes insano style at the end.
to see you, Doodlebug. Good to see you in here. Started a bit late today. I was actually surprised. I thought I was like 5 minutes late. Because I genuinely thought, even though I had it set for 3, when I woke up, I just thought, it's 3:30. I don't have to rush. And at 3:35, I was like, oh, I'm a little late. I may have missed some pre-race. And I get it to the right channel. My TV, I get it to the right channel. And I see like 5 to go in the stage. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I missed a lot. We'll see how long we stay live. So I made those last 2 shorts members only. And then this third one went live today at 6 a.m., which may have been too early. And it's doing better already. It's not doing as good as my shorts used to. Like, that's still an issue, but they are doing better. Thank goodness. We're having a little bit of a resurgence on the shorts. There for a while, we were just not getting any kind of positive results off of our shorts. Like, no views. And I think it's because I put the word crash in the short. And that triggered an automatic review of my channel, I guess. Or just the shorts. It was really weird. All right, green flag in stage 2. SVG has the advantage into 1, but Connor Zillage still on his outside. Going to have the advantage into the second S. There we go. So SVG to the lead. SVG. Connor Zillage to the lead. SVG into second. Really close. Sammy Smith up there with him. He did not stay a lap down. Even though the scoreboard had him marked for a momentarily a lap down. I think that was a glitch. We'll at least stay live for this stage, and then I might actually go do other stuff with my day. Wow. Jeremy Clements around. That's a good-looking Sunoco car. Very good-looking car. Uh-oh. Jeremy Clements stuck in the barrier, and the 45. Is that LeVar Scott? Yeah, LeVar Scott also involved. So LeVar Scott, Jeremy Clements. 2 guys caution back out already. Very clean first stage. And here we go. This maybe we're setting things off here. LeVar Scott looks really clean. He's going to continue. That Sunoco car looks really good. It's going to take a minute for them to get Clements out of that tire barrier, it looks like. I don't know. So this may be a couple laps. It may be lap 9 before we restart. We'll see. And then we're probably going to get another really close restart between Zilich and Shane Van Gisbergen. This might be the worst Golden Corral commercial they've done. That was rough. I just got here in time for multiple commercial breaks. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and see what we can see here. Ryan Sieg not in the danger zone yet. I think he has to be at least up into 12th place for something to go wrong for him. He may be safe. Both the RCR guys up here in the top 10. It's pretty notable. Austin Hill hasn't had a great year. Rajah back in the 88 this weekend. So he's in the 88. And then Qualfel, not actually in a Junior Motorsports car this week. Now, he has a very split schedule. So Walich way back here, off the track, in the garage right now. Not really used to seeing Sawalich that far back. I guess he's had an issue as well. Tire barrier claims a car here. Gonna leave that dirt on the track? I mean, it looks pretty moist. I don't know. It could be slick. Sketch hopes Austin Hill wins. After the year he's had, he definitely could use a win. Yeah, Natalie Decker was forced to park yesterday. That's right. King is just hoping for SVG or Zilic to get the win. I mean, you're taking the overdogs here. That's exactly right, Skitch. Natalie Decker is holding back. All right, like I said, we're restarting, coming to lap 9. SVG with an advantage on that restart, and he will have an advantage into turn 1. It's so weird to give up the outside here. I just don't really see a crazy advantage. All right, SVG pushed his way forward. Kind of slid Zilic up the track. Zilic backed out of it. I don't know why you would give up the inside. I know they were doing it a lot, and it was working out pretty well in the truck race. But if the inside line can get a decent start, they have the advantage into turn 1, which is huge. The outside's only useful if you can clear the inside car by turn 1. Rusty McShackford, saw you in here earlier before we went live. Even though I had this set to go live at 3, I mean, I did that. I prepared that this morning, hours ago. I forgot. Took a nap, woke up. In my mind, my coming out of sleep haze, I thought to myself, oh, the race starts at 3:30. I have time. Yeah, sorry to leave you hanging like that, Rusty. This is a really interesting running order because you have a lot of the contenders. Take out Zilic, take out SVG. You're left with, I'm going to leave out Sammy Smith as well. I'll get to him in a second. You have Cruz, Love, Allgaier, Gray, Mayer, Hill, Day. Those are all guys that, you know, should have a shot at the championship. Mayer may be a little lesser than the Junior Motorsports guys or even the RCR guys like Jesse Love. So for Sammy Smith, he's been an outside-looking-in driver all year. He may get the top 10, but he spends a lot of the race back in the pack, just working his way up or just fighting through the running order. But to see him run this well at Watkins Glen, which is, you know, a very driver skill heavy track, that's really impressive. And I think it just speaks volumes about what he can do. That's really impressive. I even spent time making this fancy thumbnail. I thought I was a hot shot trying out a new format for the thumbnail. And then I think maybe for the cup race tomorrow, we'll do one maybe similar, but with a yellow stripe, potentially. All right, Zilich able to get back out into the lead. Cruz has gotten by Sammy Smith. Ruth running 14th right now. He needs to pick it up a little bit. This is, one of his races in the 88, so he needs to make this count. I figured he had some kind of mechanical issue. I was looking back through the leaderboard and I saw Sawalich down here. He's not out of the race yet, but he is marked as off the track in the garage, so 17 laps down. Not great. And really, even if he gets back out on track, unless someone else has a day-ending issue or gets crashed out of the race soon, he won't even be able to make up any spots. So they should probably just call it at a certain point. That Arby's car looks like Tony Stewart's Old Spice car from 2009 to 2010. I think it's the same scheme they were running the other week, right? I could see the similarity, especially that deep red color. I thought that was cool. I liked when Tony Stewart ran for Old Spice. They'd been in the sport for, 5-6 years before that. They'd been in the sport for a while, especially in the EA games, in the video games. And to see Old Spice with Tony full time, that was really cool. LeVar Scott around again. Maybe under caution here. I don't know. I don't like how the CW Sports logo is yellow on the broadcast. Oh, yeah, he left debris. Yeah, definitely a caution. LeVar Scott's bumper is sitting on the front stretch. He backed it into the wall, the outside wall, and damaged the car less than Corey Day did at Texas when he side slapped the wall. CW does have the app, so you can watch it for free. They have the battle cam on the app. Sadly, not the broadcast. And we thought they were going to do that. The CEO even said last year, by the summer of last year, we're going to try to get the races on the app. It's a free channel. So, why not just put it on the app? Because not every person in America has a CW affiliate. And not every CW station puts the NASCAR race on every week. It's a choice. They don't have an exclusivity deal. So if the CW station, the local one, wants to put on an advertisement for a lettuce chopper or whatever, they can do that. They don't have to show the race. So they said they were going to put it in the app, and they never did. So maybe they thought the battle cam was good enough. I like it. I like the battle cam. You can use it, and you can put on some radio commentary, and that pretty much makes up the difference. But a lot of people depend on the commentary. So that's what they prefer. And now, coming up in a couple months, the CW is giving their streaming rights to ESPN. And I don't think NASCAR got any money out of that deal. I think all that went straight to the CW. So now, if you want to watch practice and qualifying for the Xfinity Series, and it's not on your TV station, if you want to watch the race and you don't have an affiliate, you have to use ESPN Unlimited. $30 a month unless it's included in your cable plan. Which I think most people that have cable plans will have unlimited. But YouTube TV is one of the major carriers that doesn't yet. Even though they have a contract for it, it hasn't gone into effect yet. Rusty McShackford says DD12 saves the day every weekend. Whoever runs that website is a saint. Just an amazing person. Before, the method was to use the TV app, but they've tried to make it more of a paid service, and so it's not as good to use as it was 5 years ago or so. DD12 is really good. So I hope they stay clean. That's why I try not to name their whole website when people come ask, is there anywhere I can watch the race? I'll gladly tell you, but I really don't want to get DD12 banned or taken down. They're doing a public service. Worst case scenario, I just start streaming it to my Discord channel. And if people want to watch it, they can join the Discord. But hopefully it never comes to that. That would be additional bandwidth. Yeah, I mean, and cable TV is just, by and large, pretty expensive. Especially if you want every channel, every single platform that NASCAR is on. I mean, you're paying over $100 a month. I'm watching off an antenna. I mean, I'm also watching off of YouTube TV, but for my live coverage, and the one I'm listening to as well is up on my TV through an antenna. So I'm glad that it's free to most people, but the CW could do better. Oh, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. And you never know, unless you have the whole schedule memorized, you never know if your baseball team is going to be on Amazon Prime or some random network, Netflix. I mean, it seems like every major sport now has a deal with some of these streaming platforms to do some of their events on there. I'm fine with the streaming services for major sports as long as there's a normal way to watch it on a television, because even though we think it's easy to get online, there's a lot of old people that just don't know how to work a smartphone, or if they do, the only thing they know how to do is Facebook, and they may not even do that well. I've seen a few old people. I don't get on Facebook much, but in the past, I saw a few people of the older variety using YouTube like a Google search bar. So they thought they were searching something, but they were just posting their search. Come on. Tableau, that's the name. So the commercial that just ran, I don't know if you guys saw it, for Tableau, that is the company that works with Eric Estep with Out of the Groove. I'm sure you guys know who Eric is. Huge name. And that's a really cool product. It's an antenna that hooks up to like a smart device, and you're able to record the antenna broadcasts. But not only that, you can also stream it to your different devices. Oh, you're not kidding, Rusty. Old people got one-shotted by AI. Absolutely one-shotted. All right, Zilich clear. Zilich did take the inside that time, and it worked out for him. Oh, come on. There are some AI that's like, it's getting good to where, sometimes there's no tell. There's no issues with the hand. There's no issues with their limbs inverting. It just looks real. But there are ones that are obviously fake. Like a lot of the news stories and a lot of the pages on Facebook are completely fake, and they're made just to get money off of old people. Like, never go on NASCAR Facebook. Never. It's all just fake stories like Bubba Wallace got into a fist fight with Dale Jr. Dale Jr. says it's not okay to be woke. Be like an AI generated picture in the background. It's awful. 3 laps to go in the stage. Bryn Cruz is pushing actually into second place. Connor Zilich locks up his tires a lot getting into 1. He was doing that yesterday in the truck race as well. Some of them are wild, that's for sure. Oh, that's a 100% real thing. That's why I think a lot of these older people hate Bubba Wallace, is because they just see the Facebook AI posts or the fake post on Facebook, and they just 100% believe it, hook, line, and sinker, and they're like, Bubba Wallace said we shouldn't fly the American flag at NASCAR races. Okay, but that didn't happen. But they think it did. So Rusty, I've seen a lot of people over the last few weeks calling out Bryn Cruz as having a ton of talent, so not crazy shocking. Parker Retzloff's another guy I've heard people call out a lot. He's been having some really good runs in that 99, even when the finish doesn't show it. Right now, he's holding on to a top. Oh, he just dropped out of the top 10 as soon as I mentioned it. Brandon Jones has gotten by. Corey Day not running the top 10 either. I completely agree. Completely agree. There's a few tracks I think just scream talent. That's Darlington. If you can make a car go around Darlington quickly, you're talented. Martinsville. IRP, when we run it, is a good one. Wilkesboro's probably like that now, but especially Darlington, Martinsville, and road courses. I mean, that just shows versatility, and you don't just have a car set up with a ton of downforce. Bryn Cruz is all over Zilich. Bryn Cruz is really good today. SVG off the pace. I mean, not like a crazy amount, but he's fallen back over a second. Almost 2 seconds to the lead now. No stage flipping here. Yeah, Connor's doing the same thing. Especially in one, you'll see Connor lock up his tires a lot. He was doing that in the truck race. I didn't see if SVG was doing it in the truck race. I don't know if he had enough speed to lock up the tires in the truck race. All right, Justin Allgaier, 4th in the stage. Tons of stage points. Jesse Love, Cruz also getting stage points. And Connor Zilich picking up the stage win. Wish my dog would stop licking me. Oh my goodness. Go into, can't use up your stuff this early. That's funny. Yeah, windshield wipers. So even if it's not scheduled to rain, the teams will run the windshield wipers because they have found out it gives them a little bit extra downforce on the car. And it may specifically be more side force, but that's what I've heard at least. And that's why, like, so the teams could run it in any position they want. I don't think it's mandated to be 180 degrees, just down the middle of the windshield. But they do that specifically so they get better cornering. It kind of acts as a little blade, or a wing. I don't know if you've seen like Outlaw late models run, but sometimes they'll run these giant wings on the top, vertical, to help get side force. The windshield wiper in the middle of the windshield provides side force for both sides. Works pretty well. Yeah. So like they're allowed to throw on the windshield wipers anytime we go to a road course. It doesn't have to be a threat of rain. I believe that's right. Don't hold me to that. But even if it's not going to rain, they keep it on. Because you would think, like, oh, you want the car to be aerodynamic, you'd rip that thing off. But no, the teams keep it on there. And they have that. I don't see any of the mud flaps on the back of the cars. Next time the cars are driving slow and we get a shot of the rear, I want to see if we have any mud flaps, but I don't see any. Maybe that's a cup only thing. Yeah, so I'm not sure how they do the tear-offs, Rusty, when they have the wiper on there. That's an interesting point. And maybe it rips around the blade. It's like perforated, potentially. It just goes around it. Hopefully they just don't need one. That fire suit is funny, but it's disgusting. There we go. Now the replay of LeVar Scott getting a little loose into the corner and then backing it into the wall. All right, all of our leaders down pit road. Let's see how many spots Justin's crew gives up. Probably a bunch. Hocevar's fire suit's really good. I was thinking about that the other night. I guess maybe even this morning I was thinking about that. Can't remember why though. Contact on pit road? I didn't even see that. Somebody was posting in our little YouTube community, not like ours, but the YouTube creator community. They're posting a question if they should accept a Temu ad integration for $300. It had to be in the first 3 minutes of the video and 90 seconds. So imagine you start watching a video and a minute and a half in, you get a 90-second just ad in the middle. I know you can skip it, but still, that's annoying. Van Gisbergen. Interesting. I guess I could just run that back on my computer. Oh, yeah. What? SVG. Yeah. Some big content. I looked away right when that happened. I possibly even saw it. Just my brain didn't register it. I was talking about that Temu ad. SVG gets out of his pit stall and that's really hard contact to the back of Zilich's car. That might affect the rear end. Brent Cruz losing a ton of spots on pit road. Zilich is shaking it out there, I see. Trying to see if it's still straight. But the front end on Zilich's car is... That's not good. He's going to have to come back down pit road, get that thing taped up, and lose all of his track position. And then plus, his car probably won't handle as well. Woo! Golly. He just thinks he can stay out there like that. It was a pretty good hit. It was a pretty good sized hit. It didn't rip off the whole left front, but it did rip off a good amount of the left front of SVG's car. And Zillage, like, it didn't look like it made any noticeable damage, but the rear end might be a bit off, like Rusty said. So we just have to keep an eye on that. It's really not good, even though these are they're not open wheel cars. You still don't like seeing cars hit wheel to wheel, or any car to get hit in the wheel area, because that often will mess up the steering or suspension or anything under there. So very sensitive area, especially with how cambered out they have these tires some weeks. Like, you really can't get hit there. There's already a lot of leverage against the wheel, and so a little more contact and then just break some stuff. Not great. Not great. I wouldn't doubt they post a replay of that pit road contact. If we get it, we'll pull that up. But they just showed a replay on the broadcast. That is right, Michael. SVG does have damage. Wait, did Brent Cruz? I didn't think he short pitted that. Did he stay out? Because they can't make it to the end from here. So even the guys that pit just now will have to come back in later. So maybe Cruz, Hill, Love, Day, Jones, Retzloff, Caruth, Harrison, Perkins, Quaffle. Maybe like the whole top 10 stayed out. So I was thinking I didn't see Brent Cruz on the board for the pit results, getting off pit road. So I guess he stayed out there. Still has our Xfinity fastest lap and that stage 1 win. 3 wide further back in the pack. Allgaier way off the track. Have to gather it back up here. They got it straightened out. That was close. Let's keep an eye on SVG. Where's old boy running? So I think he's already made it up to like 27th. I think that's what I saw, somewhere around there. So he's already made up some ground. That definitely could happen, especially with how hard he races. Oh, my goodness. Big error for Sheldon Creed. Unfortunate. Allgaier kind of took him out there. It wasn't an egregious hit, but my goodness. Sheldon Creed took a ride there. Ripped the front end and rear end off of that car. Wow. We can't go to Sonoma in the spring when it's nice and green because it's too wet. But then they come to Watkins Glen and it's soaked and freezing. So, like, their reasoning doesn't make any sense. Yeah, SVG's moving back up. Let's look at the people he's passed so far. Kyle Siegs and Brennan Poole might be the better drivers, better car combos back here. But he was able to make up a lot of ground really quickly. And then Jeb, Ryan. I mean, he's getting up into some better cars here very quickly. Once you get up to Ryan, like, these are guys that are actually kind of contending on speed. My goodness. You like Sonoma? I've never been a fan of Sonoma. I do like the green Sonoma when I see videos and pictures of back when they would run it in the spring. But now we wait usually until the summer and all the grass has died and it looks depressing. It is a unique track, a very unique track. A lot of elevation changes. That's really cool. And then a really close hairpin coming back to the start-finish line. So there's some unique portions. I remember, I forget what year it was, but Jeff Gordon took out like 3 guys or something over the course of the race. Just cleared them out of the way. I think he was a little irritated about where he was running. Kept getting stuck and having to work his way back up through traffic. So he was just punting guys. And maybe a couple of them were accidents, but I don't know. It was a rough day. Let me see what year that was. Maybe 2010. That sounds about right. Oh, okay. We have a video courtesy of YouTube. Not YouTube, courtesy of Facebook, actually, the place I never go. So this is the first one. Not egregious. Not really egregious there. He just went really low in the corner. Came back up the track, and the 83 ends up taking out the 6. So a little more contact there. Everyone continues. This is the second one. Tries to get under the 56 there. That doesn't work out. That wasn't great. Jeff was ticked off. Incident number 3. Same place. Gets a twofer. Boyer and Elliott Sadler. Jeff was on a mission. It's like Jeff that day couldn't fathom people weren't racing as hard as he was. Incident number 4. That's probably Kurt Busch in the 2. Sends him off the track. They're still side by side here. That car looks really good for as much damage as it had.
Yeah, that was another replay of incident number 4. That is something. All right, some more guys coming down. Let's go to J-Ski and let's figure out what our fuel window is here. Fuel window 32, so less than yesterday. So even now, we can't really, I mean, maybe with some caution laps you can make it to the end, but that is close, and that's not any room at all for overtime. Kyle Busch's accident. Interesting way to put that. More contact on pit road. This is a unique pit road. It is backwards compared to every other track we go to, pretty much. On this one, it's passenger side to the wall, to the pit wall. This is just completely opposite to what the drivers are used to. And so not only does it change being comfortable with how close to get to the wall on the right side, it also may affect some visibility. That car just came apart. Like they didn't dig in as much with the valence. Like a lot of times, and also we had higher ride heights back in the day. So not only was the valence off the ground, sometimes several inches off the ground where you can see directly under the car. There wasn't this big blade on the front to dig in. So when they would hit the grass, they would just kind of skate over it. Everything was fine. So it's not just the splitter, but it's also the ride heights. But in combination with the slammed out ride heights we have now, these coil bound setups, and that giant blade on the front, as soon as you hit grass, even if it's dry, you're usually going to rip off the front end. Or at least, really damage it. Especially with the wet grass we have here, the very saturated ground. That bumper's going on somebody's wall. I wouldn't doubt it. I saw they had thrown some parts from the truck race away, just in the trash. I'm like, man, if I was a fan or an employee at the track, I would have snagged that thing. You're coming with me, buddy. I forget exactly who that was. Oh, yeah, also different for the crew. Yeah, that's really... It's a weird adjustment, having to change up your whole choreography just for one weekend. Now, I saw someone suggest we should run Spring Bristol backwards, right turns. And they said we need, we can't do dirt every year because it's expensive. It's just dirty. It's a hassle. It hurts the track. But I don't know. There's several excuses as to why they don't want to do it again. But they said to fill the stands, to bring more interest to the race, let's run it backwards.
Let's have a right-handed oval. It would be a fun idea, but ultimately it would be looked at as a gimmick, I'm sure. I would be interested to see if it changes how the track races. Because it would slightly change the angle of their exit. Because even though, like, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 at Bristol are not symmetrical. So that also means the exits, the degree at which you're exiting, and the line at which you exit is going to change. And I don't know, it might affect things. Instead of hitting a bump on exit, you would hit the bump on entry, and might be interesting, but I don't know if it's worth doing the whole weekend that way. Now, Ross tried pit strategy yesterday, and it just didn't work out because of a restart violation. All right, Brent Cruz restarting on the front row outside. Corey Day behind him. Rajah Caruth behind the inside line. Also in the second row. So the second row was completely Hendrick cars. HendrickCars.com cars, I should say. So Brent Cruz back to the lead. Corey Day in second for a moment, but he gets a horrible entry to 1. He's going to lose a couple spots here. Corey Day had a shot there to stay with our leader, but just overcooked turn 1. So we used to actually have a giant sponsored painted banner at every track, the Geico Restart Zone. But Geico dropped their sponsorship, and so now they just do little like white lines. So they used to have that, and you could clearly see it from the stands, from TV. I'm sure you could probably see it from the car. They should run St. Petersburg. There's a rumor, and it could just be a rumor, but there's a rumor that NASCAR may be going to St. Petersburg this next season. So they haven't released the schedule yet, but someone claimed they had a leaked schedule, but it could 100% be fake. But I mean, everything looked pretty normal on the schedule. Aside from St. Petersburg, that one jumped off the page at me. But the rest of the dates look pretty normal. Maybe a weird thing is Dover still didn't have a point state. It was still the All-Star race. And I'm not sure they're going to keep it at Dover for 2 years in a row. But we'll see what happens. I also didn't see the naval base returning next season on that allegedly leaked schedule. And then another thing is Atlanta is 4th of July weekend on the schedule. It's July 3rd on a Saturday, so I don't know if that's going to be accurate. I thought another interesting thing is they're running Bristol and Daytona back-to-back on that schedule, both on Saturday. SVG all over the back of Sam Air. Sam Air's going to get shoved outside the tire packs. He's going to lose several spots. Sam Air got used up twice there. Luckily, he escapes, stays going the right direction. That's pretty cool. I've been to Daytona a few times. Really impressive facilities. It might be the best facilities in the United States. That's interesting. Little production glitch there, I guess. Just camp out in the infield. I did that once at Talladega. Ronnie Hood, good to have you. You're doing well this fine day. We have a little under 30 laps to go in today's race. So Brent Cruz is banking on the RCR guys not being able to make it to the end. He's going to be able to, I mean, Brent Cruz can save a little fuel here, take a really short stop, but he's still going to lose a lot of time on pit road if any of these other guys stay out. So we have very different strategies. I think we have 3 different strategies. Thank you, Ronnie Hood. I appreciate it. Every like matters for sure. And every view, every comment, every chat, it means a lot that you guys choose to spend your time here. That's a wild picture right there. That's a little glimpse at the production truck, all the cameras they have to choose from. Now, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that the CW isn't really in charge of that much of this production. It's mainly NASCAR productions and the CW's rebroadcasting, but I don't know how accurate that is. SVG up to 8th. That's partially on pit strategy. Now 6th. A lot of guys pit for fuel in front of him, and I believe he stayed out. Now he's up to 5th. Really moving. And it doesn't really look like they repaired that left front very much. It's just a giant hole. But you know what? Honestly, sure, you're going to lose some aero efficiency, but that's going to keep the left front brake really cool. It's going to cool down that tire as well. So that's extra grip for SVG. I don't know if it's worth the extra drag and lack of downforce and whatever else, but it can benefit the car. That happened to Dale Jr. at, I think, Martinsville one year. The front end got taken off, but they got it back out there, and he still ended up finishing like top 5 because the brakes and the tires, the front tires, were able to stay cold or cooler the whole race. All right, Brent Cruz down pit road, giving up the lead. He has to hope and pray the rest of the field doesn't have enough. I think someone's going to try to stretch it to the end if we stay green. That's a huge if. Long way to go. I mean, it seems like he's doing pretty well. Definitely off the pace of what Brent Cruz was running. He's 33-1 that time around, so he's off the pace of even Zilich by quite a bit. But that could just be because of how hard he's pushed it to get through the field. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if we get another caution. Let's say 10 to 15 laps from now, if anyone decides to come in, maybe SVG could get 4 fresh tires, tape up that left front, and make a run at it. My goodness. The rear tire changer was just getting cooked by the exhaust that whole stop. That's wild. That's why they have the flame retardant suits on. Gloves, and all the safety gear, probably even the face socks, whatever they call those, head socks, shiesties. All right, so Zilich is down. So Zilich also giving up his lead. He's not going to try to make it to the end. I think the only ones that are potentially capable would be the ones who stopped under the last caution. So the RCR guys are probably the first ones to watch on that strategy. And Brent Cruz, he has to run down Zilich here. And potentially have to get by Jesse Love and Austin Hill. All right, so SVG staying out with the lead here. He could probably run this for a while if he wanted to. Yeah, the rear tire changer there had some steel balls on him to sit there. This is flamethrower inches away, and he's just doing his thing. Got it done. And also the Jackman, was standing right there. A lot of guys really close to that fire. Pretty big damage to the right front of Sam Mayer's car. Still running. It's definitely punched in. Allgaier's coming down. SVG could stay out for another 16 laps or so. But he will need to pit here soon. I think potentially they could be angling for a caution. He just ran a 72.9. That's a really good lap time. Especially for how old their stuff is. 2-1. That's not quite a second below, but he's running almost a second off the pace to guys who just pit. Fuel window was 32 laps. And those guys, Jesse Love, Austin Hill, and whoever else came down with him, they pit with like 35, 36 to go, somewhere around there. So it's really close for them. They could potentially save some fuel on track. But they may need another caution here. But if we get another caution... Oh! Is that Ross into a barrier? The 32. Hitting one of those tire packs. Yeah, the caution would bring Zilich and Brent Cruz back into the conversation. It would really gap up the field. 12 seconds back from our leader who hasn't pit yet. Shane has to pit still. I think Raja has to pit. I believe Jesse Love's the first one. If I can stay out. So 10 seconds. Cruz 32. So he has about a 20-second advantage over the faster cars. They would have to cut a second a lap at this rate, which is potentially what they're running. Let's look at this. 74 seconds. Sprint Cruz 72, and that will slow down as the tires age. But right now they are running fast enough to catch up to Jesse Love. I just don't know if that'll hold. And can Jesse Love's stuff hold on and not drop off anymore? Yeah, 32 lap fuel window. It would be uncomfortable to be on top of the 21's pit box or the 2's pit box. So we still have a few different strategies working out here. Connor Zilic right against the grass there. Oh, that's SVG. I keep getting them mixed up. They're the same person anyway. All right, SVG down. This is a green flag pit stop, so I don't think they really have time to do much work on that left front, but maybe they can slap on some tape. He was still running decent lap times for how long he had been out. No work on that left front. They're going to leave it. Oh, a lot of work on that right front. Really slow stop. And you can really see how cambered in that left front is because of the damage. That tire is cambered in several degrees, looks like. All right, so we're on side-by-side commercials. Rajah Caruth currently leading. Let's go ahead and run or look through our running order. We have Love and Hill here. First ones on track that may potentially try to make it to the end. Chastain is the guy who got into the tire pack a few laps back. That's definitely not right. That'll have to update here in a second. SVG, same errors on pit road currently. There we go, just updated. SVG back to 14, slotting in behind Connor Zilic. There's no way this is right. This leaderboard is all over the place because of green flag stops. We'll just let it shake out before I look back through it again. So Wallace, they did eventually retire that car. It was in the garage for a while. They finally called it. Rajah Caruth down pit road. So Jesse Love should assume the lead. He can run whatever pace he wants. If he wants to run 2 seconds off the pace, I mean, Zilic will run him down. But he may save fuel. So, like, even if you finish 6th, that's probably better than pitting and finishing 20th. But if there's any overtime at all, then the RCR guys are done, dead in the water. All right. Rajah Caruth on and off, going to slot in behind SVG. It's a good learning opportunity for Rajah right here, if he can hang with SVG for a few laps on these fresher tires. He needs to follow right in his tire tracks. Trying to watch these braking points, how fast he decelerates, when he gets back on the gas. These are all things he could be learning right now. Yeah, RCR has been really up and down this year. Like, Jesse Love's shown speed a few times, like really good speed. And then Austin Hill just has not had a good year. It's been really disappointing if you're an Austin Hill fan. And really disappointing just compared to how he was running the last couple of years. Yeah, RCR, their cup program obviously isn't as good as Penske, RFK, Hendrick, even Spire right now. They could do better. They just haven't kept up with the times. And they even had a good run going last week until Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch had been complaining all race about bad restarts, not having fire-off speed. So that late race restart cost Kyle Busch a top 10 and potentially a top 5. That was rough to watch. So he ended up losing a few spots on the restart. Had the incident there with John Hunter Nemechek, and then basically sacrificed like 8 positions just to take out John Hunter Nemechek. Not a great decision. But it was entertaining. I was entertained. So Love, Hill, Gray, and Chastain all still out. Retzloff, Perkins, Green also on the same strategy. Jeb Burton already down to 10th on that strategy. Creed, he's been out for 17 laps, so there's a lot of guys running pretty long here. At this pace, if they keep running 2 seconds off the pace that Zilich is setting, Zilich is going to get them all. 74. That time they were running a 75.2, 1 second. So now he was 12 back, almost 13 back, running over a second faster. And looking at our lap count, he has enough time, but we'll see what happens here. And we don't even know if Love and Hill can make it at this point. It's going to be tough. Brent Crew's pit crew seems to have cost him a chance at the win. If we get a restart, then potentially he could still get up there and win. But right now, it looks like he is out of the equation because, I mean, he may even be able to get up to second with the right set of circumstances, but he would also have to clear Zilich, which is 5.5 to 5 seconds ahead. And I don't see him cutting 5 seconds to Zilic. They're talking about that on the broadcast right now. I beat the broadcast to it. All right, what lap time did Love run that last time by? 74.5. Still a second slower than our leader. Or not our leader, but a second slower than Zilic. So Zilic is cutting this time really quickly. The first big test here will be Zilic versus Chastain. Is Chastain willing to hold up Connor Zilic? Or is he just going to roll over and let him by so they can both continue running optimal lap times? Taylor Gray. Oh, so Zilic already got by Chastain. Taylor Gray's not going to win this race as it currently stands. On the same fuel strategy as the 2 and the 21, but Zilic already got there, got by him. So Chastain and Taylor Gray offered no resistance. Just let Zilic go by. Zilic is already down to 8 seconds back. 12 to go. This is plenty of time for Zilic to get up there. Now, Hill and Love can both pick up the pace once Zilic gets there, if they want to try to run out of fuel. But if they just run their lap time, they get passed by Zilic, they still end the day finishing 3rd and 4th, 3rd and 5th. I mean, it's going to be a good finish, whatever happens here, as long as they make it to the end. And it'd be great for both RCR guys if they can just stay out on track. And it'll be hard to do. It'll be hard to fight the instinct to try to outrun Zilic or try to outrun him. Emphasis on try. I don't really want a caution here. I want to see what happens here. Even though, if we'd gotten one 5 to 6 laps ago, that could have been cool. To see what the strategy would do then when people take fresh tires and try to drive through the field. 32 lap fuel window, and they chose to pit with like 36 to go. That's rough. That's called putting your driver in a bad spot. All right, Zilich can see Austin Hill. Might even pass him this lap. It could be next lap, though. For a 74.8 that last time by Zilich, 73.6, over a second faster. Let's look back to the field a bit further. 75.6 to a 74.4. So Justin and SVG are both trying to climb back in to the top 10 before the end of the race. We're at 8 laps to go right now. They don't have very long to do it. And Justin has 3 seconds to cut, and he's running a second faster. That time, 2 seconds faster. So he might be able to pick him off. But can Justin also hold off SVG? I mean, they're running really close lap times. So Justin might be able to squeak out a top 10 here. With how they're running currently. He's not running that much faster than Brandon Jones, so I don't think he's going to make it that far. All right, Austin Hill's having to block, not block here. Zilich is going to get the position here. Oh! Hill ran him up the track. Hill's going to stay side by side with him, but Zilich is going to drive this thing deep into one. Yep, he gets the position there. Hill could have tried to do something there to force the issue, but he didn't. Little contact there with Zilich and let him go before the next corner. All right. 2.5 seconds back, 7 laps to go. I don't think there's a path forward here for Love. Unless they tell him, you saved enough, and then he magically gains a half a second a lap, if not more. On much older tires than Zilich. .8 seconds back, and he's closing in. Man, you have to be sick if you're. Oh, Zilich through the grass. Maybe a little splitter damage to the front of the car. It looks a little bent there in the middle. Oh my goodness. Zilic might have a rub right front. He broke off the splitter. Zilic into the outside wall there. That changes everything. Jesse Love might have done exactly enough to get the win. Slides it, slides it, slides it. And just, I mean, oh, that's such minor contact. That is insane. So Zilic is just trying to hold on for a good finish here. He's not really able to run down Love right now in the shape that car's in, even with Love saving fuel. And Love knows, you know, his spotters definitely told him what just happened. So he's saving even more fuel now. And so I'm hesitant to speak about the interval right now because Love is saving fuel knowing Zilic has a hurt car. And he's able to slow down and give up time. I think the broadcast is wrong. I mean, sure, he definitely figured out what the car can do. But also, Jesse Love is saving fuel. Saving a ton of fuel. I think these guys are a bit high on their own supply in the booth. Love knows he has damage. He's definitely saving extra fuel right now, giving up time. Closed in a lot there. Just in a couple corners. Gave it up there. So 2 seconds back. So he closed in 4 seconds, lost not 2 seconds. He closed in 4 tenths, then lost 2 tenths. Back and forth. Back down 1 more tenth. Hovering around 1.3 to 1.5 right now. That's kind of wild because Hill has had really good runs. On the road courses. Just not able to put things together today. All right, coming. 2 to go. And entering turn 1. Zilic locking it up there on the entry. Been doing that all day. Zilic is going to push this car as hard as it'll go. We will see how important a front splitter is. Is running a second faster per lap before that damage. Gap's about 1.1 right now. He needs to cut about 2 to 3 more tenths just this lap. Then he has to do it again, identically, next lap. That's asking a lot out of a damaged race car. Almost down to 8 tenths. That just dipped below 8 tenths. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Will Zilich pull off an amazing drive here? And can Love make it to the end? We also have a lap car on the way. This is going to impact things greatly. Okay, lap car getting out of the way. Not too bad. It's half a second. The gap is half a second. I think a lot of it's going to come down to this dog leg here. Zilich driving it in super deep. Really good run through the dog leg. Zilich just diving it in there. He's been doing this all week. Really hard on the entry, the corners. Love trying to outrun him, sliding the rear tires. 3 tenths back. 3 tenths back. One more corner. Into turn 7. Zilich is almost there. Zilich is there. Love too fast. He is going to make it to the end, but Connor Zilich is going to steal this win away. Oh my goodness. Love ran some slower laps there trying to save fuel. He definitely, if he had just a lap more fuel, Love wins this race because he's able to open it up quicker. But with that damage from Zilich, I mean, what an impressive drive. It's also impressive that Love even made it to the end. Did Hill make it? Did Hill run out of fuel? 11th? Does anyone know if Hill made it to the end? Bro. So Jesse Love needed that win for the points and just the momentum. And Zilich, his best buddy, just ripped it away from him. Zilich is not a full-timer in this series. And he really cooked it into the entry of 7. And Love overcooked it. But my goodness, the run Zilich got through the dogleg was insane. Made it stick. I thought he might wash up the track again and finish off that right side. I mean, if Love keeps the inside, he doesn't overcook turn 7, then potentially Zilich ships him up the track. Potentially. But Love, probably our winner. That was a fun race. That was fun. Really sad that I missed the whole first half and it kind of killed the rest of the stream. But, all right, let's say first half, pretty much the whole first stage. So, yeah, disappointing there. But, yeah, fun race. Zilich wins it. Last lap, last corner. Yep. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Man, I know Jesse Love's going to lose sleep over that one. That was close. That was close. Jesse probably should have stole that one away on the strategy call and just couldn't make it through one last turn. Zilich hit the intimidation button, and it worked. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us. I'm going to wrap things up here, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and maybe I'll be live later. If I am, hope to see you guys. If not, maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Cup race. But until then, hope you guys have a good one. And until next time, don't dive.